Yes, I'm talking to you. Get ready, everyone, because it's the reserve list. Top 10 selling cards for Magic the Gathering from March 15th to the 23rd of 2024. In today's video, we're going to see some heavy-hitting reserve list cards making it back on top. We're also going to be a little shock and awe with some low-level cards making a comeback. Hi everyone and welcome back. MOX Man here. Thanks again for hanging out with me on my channel today. A reminder before we start the video that if you enjoy today's content, hit that subscribe button. Turn on your notification bell. More Mox Man every single day. And of course, if you want to support this channel another way, you can use my TCG Player affiliate link. It helps me get all kinds of cool cards for the channel. Click the link. It helps out. Now let's go ahead and dive right into the top 10. Starting out at number 10 is Sevi Excavations. This card has 42 sales this week for a total sales volume of $525.42. This is the card of the channel. I love this card. I've utilized it for years. In almost any deck I can splash blue into, this thing always finds a home. You're asking me why? Well, let's take a look at the card. When Sevi Excavations comes into play, sacrifice an untapped island or bury Sevi Excavations. Now it taps for 1 blue and 1 colorless, so there's not really a drawback unless somebody can blow up that land, and I usually don't focus on that. But it also has 1 and tap. Look at the top card of your library. You may put that card on the bottom of your library. This is an early form of scry, but it's also the most mana efficient version of scry in a land. We have Castle Vantress and we have other copycat cards, but it's not quite the same. Buy yourself a Sevi Excavation. Treat yourself. Now, number 9. Altar of Bone comes in at number 9, and this is from Ice Age. Now, when you're looking at this card, it's only $5.05. It's not a really expensive card, 43 sales, $217.15 in actual sales volume. But it says sacrifice a creature. Look through your library for a creature card. Put that creature card into your hand after showing it to all other players. Reshuffle your library afterwards. Now, it's 1 green and 1 white, and it's a sorcery. Now, we have tons of new soldier cards, tons of new cards that use green and white, and so many token creation abilities now that it's not really a drawback. So really, you're paying a green and a white for a selective tutor that lets you go ahead and get some giant honkin' beast. This thing's insane. I can't believe this thing can be used this way for so cheap. It gives you another option and costs under $15. Like, why are people not buying that card? I'm sorry, it's a Mox Man recommendation. Now, our next card comes to us from Revised. That's right, we're dropping right in. We're checking out the Revised for dual lands, and it is Tundra. 47 sales this week. Now, this card actually has been trending down in value. I know you see a little bit of an upswing on the tail, but overall, the sales volumes have only been really high right now because of some trade-in value, some people, mocking up and getting a few deals on their modern trade-ins to get these reserve list cards, and this is one of them. It's still a total sales volume of $23,067.60. It's a massive chunk of sales, don't get me wrong. $490.80 for a near mint copy. You can find heavily played copies here in Canada for around $480, so there's a real discrepancy in US pricing versus Canadian pricing, and the availability of these cards is a lot scarcer in Canada. But either way, it's an epic, amazing card, and if you can get it by trading in cards that are going to get reprinted, like a Ragavan, why wouldn't you do it? You can get the Ragavan later, but you cannot replace that Tundra. It's going to stay in your collection forever. Now, here we have the Dwarven Armor. This is from Fallen Empires. I got to explain some stuff about this card. 55 sales this week, $203 in sales volume. These are nothing buttons on the card, but it's a 1 casting cost red for 0/2. And it says 1 red, discard a card from your hand and put either a 0+1 or a +1/+0 counter on a creature. Now, I don't want you to think in terms of this being a dwarf for 0/2. I want players to kind of realize that this thing lets you discard cards. There are reasons to discard cards. There are reasons why you want cards in your graveyard. Red and black decks like to have cards like this that allow them to utilize dredge abilities, and it's just one of those things you go, yeah, nobody saw it coming. It's $3.70 on average. It's a Fallen Empires card that is over the $2 mark. That in itself seems really strange to players right now, but when you see this card get played, be fearful, because there's a reason why they put it in their deck. Don't think it's nothing. It's not a nothing, it's a something. All right, now let's go in and drop into our next card, which is again from Homelands. This is Koskin Falls. Now, this card I have preached about for a long time. I do enjoy the card. I do use it in my attack, not attack deck for Commander, as well as a couple of other decks I use. 62 sales this week, $553 in sales volume, but it says during your upkeep, tap target untapped creature you control or bury Koskin Falls. No creature can attack you unless its controller pays an additional 2 whenever that creature attacks. Think about people who have like dozens of creatures out. Who's got 30, 40, 50 mana to let them attack you? And in combination with other cards mounting on top of this and the options available, you can make a creature deck that really can't attack you. It's kind of crazy to put these cards together. I love this card. I can't say enough nice things about it. And the price is right. Now, our next card comes to us from Alliances. This is Lake of the Dead. Lake of the Dead. The artwork speaks for itself. 65 sales this week, or $5,418.40 in total sales volume. It's $83.36. The price has been leveling out. This card is not seeing any more massive uptrends. It hasn't seen any real decreases. It's sitting at that new level. Now, when this thing was $40-something, I was telling people to buy it. But now that it's kind of risen to a higher level than it was at before, it's time to let it rest. I don't recommend buying this card right now. I say if you have one, great. If you need one, keep it on your watch list. Let's see if the pricing continues to trend down with a lack of pressure on the sales, because if that occurs and people can find a new price range for it, you'll see an uptick in sales again. There's speculators in the market right now. There's no doubting that. I can see it all over the place, but right now this card is not one of the hit targets, so it's good to know. But our next card is a hit target, and it's coming to us from Stronghold. Here we have MOX Diamond. This thing is on all kinds of wish lists, all kinds of players trying to get it, and they're trying to trade into it with cash value. 70 sales this week, or $46,553.90. This one card with that 70 sales is more than the entire top 10 that we saw yesterday. That's how big of a discrepancy there is in what's going on in the singles market right now. The reserve list continues to sell cards at a slow but constant pace of people building up their collections and adding these cards into their collections. Whereas we've had a real lull in the singles market for anything modern. So it's kind of crazy to think about it that way, but these markets do kind of interchange. And there are times where people are saving up for bigger cards and will avoid buying small things when they want to get a big bad boy. And this is one of those cards that's on a lot of hit lists because it fits into so many decks. Love the card. I'm glad I got one. Yes, I only own one, but I'm glad I have it. And our next card, you need to own one. This is Wheel of Fortune Revised Edition. It didn't make the list last week. There wasn't enough sales. This week it comes in with 74 sales, March 15th to 23rd. That's $23,309.26 in sales volume. $314.99 is pretty much where we left this card off a couple of weeks back when it was last on the list. It hasn't done any funky monkey stuff. It's just chilling like a villain, sitting in the corner saying, you need me. You know you need me. You know you want to buy me. But I just look so expensive. I'm like a tasty treat that you can't afford. I'm like that vacation you put on your credit card. And then afterwards you regret it, but then you realize how much fun you had, being there, that you just kind of take it back. That's what you're going to feel when you buy this card. That's how you're going to feel getting your Wheel of Fortune, because you never have to sell it or trade it in. It's part of your collection forever. So is the next card, by the way. Coming back to Revised again is going to be Copy Artifact. I'm surprised this thing is still here, but I shouldn't be as surprised as many of you might think I am. 81 sales. That's $6,475.95. The thing's been trending down in price. This thing was up into that almost $90 mark again. Now it's back down to $79.95 on average. Heavier played copies are going for around $60. This thing, if you can afford a near mint, I would go for the near mint. There's not a big enough price discrepancy to make it worth buying a heavily played. But again, after you buy one of these types of cards for a commander deck, or four if you're playing some kind of crazy old school fun stuff, when you look at that card and you look at any price comparison to newer stuff, I'd rather get the Copy Artifact. Yes, I'm partial to reserve list. You can say I'm biased even, but when I look at what I can do with this thing compared to newer cards, I'm still going to choose the Copy Artifact. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to love it. I'm going to use it. Now, to the number one card that nobody saw coming again. And you have to blame Modern Horizons 3 and BloomBurrow. And we'll talk more about this on Monday, but this thing's got 119 sales. That's $5,324.06. It keeps getting sales. It keeps upticking. By the way, the Judge promo version of this card is also selling, okay? It's not including these numbers, but it is selling. We have some very strong sales in this card, and local areas are starting to see wish lists of this card appearing. This is what we talked about with the whole wave, that wave of action, that wave of, I want to try out a squirrel deck. I want to get more of these guys because I think it's going to be epic being able to put a deck together the way I want to put it together. And I need to have that Legia Hollows, and I need to have that Deranged Hermit. So those are the 2 reserve list cards that I have to buy. And they're still under $50. Yeah, I'm going to line those back. Oh, wait, I can't find any because it's sold out everywhere? That's crazy. The reserve list market is a very unique beast. It has moments of just downright glory. The market goes through the roof, everything aligns in a perfect straight line, and people go crazy for the sales, the magic of owning reserve list cards, the hype. But at other times, things don't work out that way. Everything crashes down. Now I want you guys to take as a case in point Deranged Hermit. When we had Modern Horizons 2, and the sales on Deranged Hermit were going through the roof back then, and we're seeing an uptick in sales now. Why? Why are the sales happening? Speculators are back in the market trying to buy these cards up where they can find them on a good deal. You've also got Modern Horizons 3, but you've also got BloomBurrow coming up to give you a double whammy or a chance at a perfect storm. A connective cards that will make massive amounts of money, because there's nothing stopping something like Deranged Hermit going to $1,000. There's not. If enough amazing, creative, crazy cards come from Wizards of the Coast and make him that good, and make the Deranged Hermit be, I'm not deranged anymore, I have a use, and you want me, you really want me. The same with Legia Hollows. Same type of plan can happen for these cards, but only if the stars align, if it stays straight, and the money comes rolling in, because they make cards so good that players just salivate to get their hands on old reserve list cards. Now, with the One Ring, it's a direct thing going over to Copy Artifact. It just keeps happening over and over. People finally see the card dropping in price, and they're buying it as it falls. When you look at cards like Wheel of Fortune, we don't need to scream the virtues of owning that card. It's self-explanatory. You don't know? Read the card again. You need more help? Send me an email. I will explain it to you in detail. The point is, it's an amazing card, but at one point, remember, there's no pleasing everyone. So when Wheel of Fortune was $180 Canadian, people weren't buying it. Now it's 3 something and they're being sold again. There's market mishap where people aren't paying attention to the right thing. They're missing out. Deranged Hermit, $12. Yeah, we remember that, don't we? People very recently on my channel remember that, because some of you called in to gloat. I love those emails you said, I listened to you, I bought 4, it was $49. I know. And you used my TCG player link. It was awesome. Either way, crazy stuff can happen. Never ignore it, but at the same time, if it doesn't work, you want to have your wins be huge. You want to have your losses be small if you're speculating in the market. Remember that. Or you want to be able to weather the storm and realize that if that money sits there for 10 years, it doesn't matter to you. And that's hard for some players to do. So it's not a market for everybody. And the playability of the card. The cards have to truly be amazing that will connect to a reserve list card to really make it go up and see actual play in whatever format it's going to be played in. Guys, I've said my piece. We've been here long enough. I will see you guys on the live stream, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, and we will pick up this conversation. Don't forget my Monday video, 11:15 Eastern Standard Time. I'll see you guys then. Have an awesome day, and don't forget, bring a friend to Magic. The patrons of this channel are amazing. Look at the glorious names passing you by as you understand what these people do here on the channel. They support the daily content. They are the patrons, the believers who back it up with hard-earned cash to make sure that we can make these videos each and every day. Thank you for being such amazing supporters. Well, fancy meeting you guys here. I guess we all decided to stop what we were doing, kick back a little bit, send the kiddies away and say, what's going on with that ramble jamble today? What is going on? Well, we have a couple things to just conversate about. Number one, the sales compared to the Saturday sales are ridiculous. I was laughing when I was doing these counts. Crazy. And there were so many smaller reserve list sales going on that they didn't make the list, but they had 20 copies here, 25 copies here. It was across the board. Now, it looks like there's been a lot of interest in low-level reserve list buying. Low-level. Couple of dollar cards. Buy all you want. Have at it. Have fun. Have fun. But let me explain something to you. If you're going to be going for low-end reserve list cards, understand they're not going anywhere right now. Unless there's a connective card, they don't go anywhere. You're buying them for fun, they go to zero. If you're spending a couple of bucks a reserve list card, you might as well go for some beta or alpha commons, if you can find them cheap. Because they're a better investment than a low-end, unplayed reserve list card. I still have my reserve list cards, I buy them all the time. But I'm with the understanding that I know they can go to zero, and that's not why I'm buying them. I'm buying them to have them, and not everyone feels the same way. A lot of speculators out there hoping for a turnaround in the market. I still don't see anything that's going to raise up low-level cards. So if you're buying those cards right now, there's better ways to spend your money. Get a dividend, a stock that's going to pay you, a buck a month. That $1 a month can now be used to buy a reserve list card, okay? You can keep your original cash and use the free cash to go shopping, but don't use up the good stuff. Don't use the hard-earned money. Remember they say, you're trading time for money, and you want that money to work for you, always. Guys, thanks for being here. You're amazing. You guys know it's true. I can't thank all you viewers out there who watch my videos, and you drop comments every day. Do you know how encouraging and supportive that is to me? Do you know what it means for me to see all you guys out there every day helping out the channel by putting the comments down there, giving the videos a thumbs up? It gets your viewership higher. It gets your algorithm going up when there's that positive intake. And it's because of people on this channel. That's not me. That's you. And I don't think I say it enough. Even if I do, I still don't think I'm saying it enough. Thanks again for being such strong supporters of this channel and making me want to be here every day. Thanks again, guys. You're awesome. I'll see you soon. And whoever's kid just threw that, make your kid pick that up, man. And be nice to your mom and dad. They work hard for you.